All right, let's go to NFL Checkdown game. Don loves this one. We're going to give you a couple options, and we're going to give you our opinions on the two options. So first one, more likely, this is good, the Bills miss the playoffs or Dak Prescott wins MVP.
So my knee-jerk reaction was Dak. More likely is that Dak wins the MVP because I was like, I'm not saying he's going to win it, but Buffalo's no. But what I was going to say was Buffalo's not missing the playoffs. But then when I look at it, they're outside looking in right now, Buffalo. They are 6-6. Now the Broncos, Texans, and Colts are all in front of them because they're 6-5. They all have essentially a game in hand because Buffalo has to get their bye week. So when they come out of the bye at some point, they could be a whole game behind those teams. And the Colts right now are the 7th seed. Then the Bills still have to play the Cowboys, Chiefs, and Dolphins.
At home.
Coming out of the bye, if they're one whole game behind those two, it'd probably be two teams because I think the Texans and Broncos play this weekend, right? So they're going to be possibly one whole game behind maybe the Colts and Texans or Colts and Broncos. Then even if Buffalo goes undefeated, they need some help. But they're not going undefeated with a stretch of the Cowboys, Chiefs, and Dolphins. Then the Broncos and Texans play each other. So one of those teams is guaranteed a victory. The Broncos' only other remaining difficult game besides Houston is the Detroit Lions. But we've seen they can be beat. And the Colts have their two toughest opponents are the Steelers and Texans. So I'm not sure how that all plays out, but it's not looking good. So I've switched my answer. I said more likely. I agree with Mike Regina. Bills missed the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the answer right there for everything you just said. And it boils down to this. They're not going undefeated for the rest of the year. It's not happening. Like, it's Josh Allen, it's the Bills. They will find a way to lose at least one game. And these are phenomenal playoff teams. Like, these are the top teams in the AFC they're going to have to play. And then the Cowboys, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, Bills missed the playoffs. Hey, y'all need to stop disrespecting Dak, man. He's playing like the MVP.
But don't blame Josh Allen. You keep loving to bring up Josh Allen.
We can't talk about him. He's in the Hall of Fame already. We can't talk about Josh Allen. But we will talk about Justin Herbert. So next one, more likely, Justin Herbert is not a top 8 quarterback or Bryce Young will be a bust.
I think it's more likely, meaning, you got to put your life on the line or a lot of money on the line regardless.
Yeah, this is the last leg of your parlay. You got to pick one of these two to hit, and you win it all. Which one are you going with?
I'm putting Bryce Young will be a bust. I mean,
anything to save Justin Herbert's reputation. Him and Josh Allen, they will be year 12 still doing the same shit, and you'll be like, yeah, it's not them.
Give them time. Patience is a virtue.
Oh, my God. This dude wants to give people decades.
Listen, Bryce Young's already got one coach fired. The Panthers, now some of these other factors are not his fault. The Panthers lack talent, so they're not going to be able to give him help. They've already given up their first-round pick for next year, so no new young talents coming in. They are a defensive-first organization. You already mentioned that, which usually does not lend to the quarterback having big games. They didn't appreciate Cam enough, in my opinion. And there's just too many facts. And why that plays a part is that now they're trying to chase the next Cam. And you can't do that. That's unfair to Bryce. And so that's too many factors for Bryce to overcome. He'll have 3 offensive coordinators in the first 2 years. We've seen this story before, JT.
Yeah, he basically going to be Jason Campbell, a new offensive coordinator every year.
It never ends well for those quarterbacks, no matter how talented they are.
Yeah, that's the answer right there.
Well, yep.
That's the answer. It's true.
Thank you, Mike Regina. It's more likely Bryce will be a bust.
It's true because I know this to be true. I can drop Justin Herbert on 5 or 6 NFL teams and he'll instantly become a top 5 quarterback. I know this is true. This will happen. Bryce Young, I can put him in the best system, and I don't know if he'll be better than Jared Goff. Like, I said he was the best quarterback in the draft. I didn't know he was going to go to the shit show that is the Carolina Panthers. I didn't know how bad they were because I believed in Frank Reich because you told me to. But Bryce just doesn't look like he looks like playing at Alabama was the best thing for his career. Bigger windows to throw into, good old line, good protection, and you don't have that in the NFL, especially when you go number 1 overall. And I don't think he's good enough to elevate this team. And like you said, they don't have the means to improve this roster so that we can know if he is good or not. And he's the stuff that we worried about, him being small. Like, they can't put QB sneak or the tush push into the package because he's so little. And like Regina said, he's not growing 3 more inches at any point during his career. So
you guys are just mean, man. You don't got to go that far. You don't got to go that far
stacked against him, man. Like, Rocky didn't have this much shit going against him. Like, it's bad, man. Like, he has a more likely chance of being the bust. Oh, next one. Worst QB group. So these are teams. They have a bunch of quarterbacks. None of them are good, but we want to know which one is the worst QB room, the Patriots or the Browns?
Oh, it's the Patriots. Listen, they took a first-round pick with Mac Jones. He had no OC/QB coach last year.
And y'all call me crazy for worrying about the Patriots, right? JT's always starting shit.
Now I
told y'all that was going to be a disaster.
Now they benched their starter. And the Browns, like, if Deshaun Watson was healthy, they'd be fine, right? They'd be 7-4, going to make the playoffs with Deshaun. He's starting. But injury is what is holding the Cleveland quarterback situation up. Because, listen, they weren't relying on P.J. Walker and DTR to start in terms of lead them the whole season, right? That was not the plan. But the plan for New England was, hey, we're going to keep Zappy, but Mac Jones is the guy. Neither one is stepping up. They have a way worse QB situation, way worse QB group than Cleveland. And Mike Regina agrees.
I agree, because the Atlanta Falcons would love to have the Cleveland Browns quarterback room because they got Joe Flacco. I know Joe Flacco could go out there and pass for 300 yards and be better than Desmond Ridder. So DTR, I mean, he's young. He showed flashes. P.J. Walker has kept them in the playoff race. Like, he started some games and they won. So, and Deshaun is the ultimate, one. Like, he still looks like a franchise quarterback. But you're right. Mac Jones has been horrible. I didn't think he was a first-round pick. And then they got Mac Jones Jr. and Zappy. And then they got a guy who didn't play quarterback, who's not playing quarterback, but they keep teasing they'll put him in, Malik Cunningham, and we don't even know if he's good or not. Like, the Patriots, they're just bad. But the quarterback room is definitely probably the worst in the league, worse than the Falcons, in my opinion. I know you'll like this one.
Oh, wait. Our guy Scott says Zappy was cut at start of season and brought back on. They've cut Greer 2 this week. Maybe Cunningham will get a shot. So he echoes what you were thinking.
Appreciate that. Relax or panic. Austin Eckler as a top running back.
Go
ahead and say it. I know this is your guy.
I know. So out of respect for my guy, I'm going to say relax.
Nah, you don't believe that.
Because of the ankle injury, I don't think he's fully healed. He doesn't look as explosive, I think, because of the ankle injury. Less usage. I mean, he barely got any carries against Baltimore. Listen, the offense, in my opinion, just hasn't been good in general. They've been injured all around. Defenses can focus on the running game when it's only Keenan Allen out there. No tight end. There's they've got Guyton is out, and the
Mike
other
Williams is out.
Mike Williams is out, and then
Palmer's out.
Like, it's just too much for Eckler, and I really don't think that he's been fully healed from the ankle. And our guy Mike Regina, he agrees, says relax.
Yeah, well, your guy Mike Regina, you were wrong because I'm panicking.
Wow,
like
Steve,
this is what
that's
happened.
the difference between you and I. If a guest was sending comments, I would never say that they're wrong, even if I felt that way. But you do.
Mike Regina,
have respect for
Mike Regina knows me. He knows me. He knows I would say this if he was sitting here with us. You guys are wrong. This is what happens, and we talk about this. The age of the running back, it has caught up to him. Too many carries, too many touches. And the thing about him that's declining is he's not commanding the targets as a receiver like he once was. But
is that his fault?
I mean, it's a little bit of both, but I mean, if they don't have all those guys, they should be checking it down to them. Christian McCaffrey would be getting the ball every play.
Exactly. So JT, let me throw a little conspiracy.
Can I finish my last point? I'll let you go.
Okay.
Let me finish my last point. We forgot this man had like 20-something rushing touchdowns. Was it last year or the year before? It's like that means like all the times on the goal line, he is slamming into the defense, and he's not a big running back. This is just how it goes for running backs. You get a bunch of touches over time, you decline. I'm not saying he's washed, but he is definitely looking like he is not a top running back anymore. Like, I can't see him going to another team and just going back to what he was like 2 or 3 years ago. Like, I don't think that's happening.
Well, the whole 20 touchdowns last year, that proves that you got to relax, because no NFL running back, I don't care what the age is, there has not been a running back that has had 20 touchdowns and then instantly fell off the cliff. Usually you see a much gradual decline. But to go back to what you were saying, let's do a little conspiracy theory, because JT always likes to create drama.
So it's me. It's me.
You're Jimmy Drama.
Of course.
So I'm going to create some drama. During the offseason, it was Eckler who wanted a new contract, and they didn't give it to him. Now they're downplaying his stats, not feeding him the ball. So when he becomes a free agent or come the offseason, they don't want to have to pay him what he should be paid. So I'm just saying, a little conspiracy in there. Hey, that's a great point, but don't ever do that to Austin Eckler and compare LeGarrette Blount, who was only a goal line back, to Austin Eckler. That's disrespectful. There's a lot of guys that have scored a lot.
Whoa, hey, you can't talk to our guests that way on their comments.
I'm not. I'm saying both of you, because you
said you would never do that. And he turns around and just does it when they don't.
I'm not criticizing him. He's just making a factual point, and what I'm saying is don't compare the two.
All right, next one. Relax or panic. Rookie wide receiver. So I'm assuming we're talking about Quentin Johnston and Jackson Smith. And
you're the one that sent me the topic to write on the script.
Hey, look. I mean, I was going to throw your boy Rashee Rice in here until he had a good game, but really, the focus.
That's why you still want him in Dynasty from me. But go ahead.
No, I don't. But we're focusing on QJ and JSN because they're the big names in this past draft, and they're struggling. But rookie wide receivers, are we relaxing and panicking on those two guys?
I'm relaxing on JSN. Listen, he's still got the skills. There's not enough pass plays in the Seattle playbook for DK, Tyler Lockett, and him. And listen, let's be honest, Geno hasn't been as great this year as he was last year, but I'm panicking on QJ. Listen, this is what everyone was worried about him going into the draft. Like, can he be more dynamic as a receiver, right? And this offense, like going back to the Austin Eckler thing, this offense with the Chargers, it's been a mess. It hasn't been good. And they drafted him as a developmental prospect. And that was known. And they didn't put him in late in the game this past Sunday night.
I think he was hurt.
Well, that's where, if you go listen to the press conference after the game by Staley, and then the next day, he said that they gave him the okay to go back in. He didn't think he was 100%. But what did you say earlier in the show, JT? No one's 100% at this point.
He listens.
Listen, if that was A.J. Brown, if that was Justin Jefferson, that guy's going back in late in the game to win. He's either one of two things happens. The coaching staff's putting him back in, which they didn't do. So that tells you something. And then two, you think Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Antonio Brown, you think once they were cleared by the doctors late in the game, they wouldn't have gone back in? So that tells me that QJ didn't fight hard enough to convince the coaches to get back in. You can't coach that, JT. You can't coach that desire and that want in that heart to get back in the game to make plays. I think he shied away, and that is why I'm panicking.
So you're relaxing on one and panicking on the other, or is that what it is?
Yeah, you gave two. I'm relaxing on JSN.
Oh, I gave him as a group, but I guess we can break them down individually.
No, I'm relaxing. Listen, here, let's do
No. I got it.
Mike Regina, Perfect. He summarized it for me. I'm panicking on QJ, relax on all the rest. There you go.
I will say I'm going to overall relax just because I think Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson have just ruined expectations for rookie wide receivers. I mean, guys aren't going to come into the league putting up 1,400 plus yards and scoring 20 touchdowns. Like,
yeah, I'm not expecting that.
That's so rare, and I feel like it's going to be like a decade before our expectations for rookie receivers come back down to earth, because those are just two special players that went to amazing situations and it worked out for them. But you forget, guys that become great, all-time great receivers, they all don't start out hot. Devontae Adams wasn't even good for like 4 years with the Packers. Calvin Johnson really didn't become Megatron until like year 5. Like, relax, it happens. And I will say this, I am panicking a little bit more on QJ than JSN. I think they both have their faults. I agree with you. I think JSN's issue is there's just not enough touches to go around. I mean, there's 2 Pro Bowl receivers, and they got 2 really good running backs that can also catch the ball, and the quarterback has regressed when he wasn't that good in the first place. And plus, Pete Carroll is a run-the-football type of coach. So we always knew JSN was going to struggle initially. Now, Quentin Johnston, I am struggling on. I am a little bit more worried about, because he did have those issues coming in that people worried about. He was more of a developmental prospect. But I will say this. I will give him this reprieve. Kellen Moore's system is a track record now. It has done this to receivers. Because if you don't remember, when he was with the Cowboys, that was the one thing that the receivers were always saying, that his scheme is too complicated. It makes you run a ridiculous amount of like choice routes. So instead of just naturally going out there and running the route, you have to do this thinking. Now you go to, the Chargers, and the offense takes a step back. And I think that, combined with the guy who's a rookie receiver, like, those rookie receivers aren't ready to run choice routes year 1 as developmental prospects. So I want to see him with a coaching staff that's going to use him in the way that I think he's good. Short, intermediate, get the ball in his hand, and let him make people miss. Like, they're just using him as a clear out right now to get Keenan Allen the ball. But I'm overall relaxing on both of them. I'm a little bit panicking on QJ more than JSN, but I'm not that worried. They're rookies, scheme, and expectations. Oh, you'll love this. Jackpot or Fool's Gold. Your boy, your cousin, Tommy DeVito, as an NFL starter.
Did you see the handshake celebration?
I've been seeing it all weekend.
You went like that? You went like that?
Yes, I see both the hands. Yes, I'm not blind.
See that? That was great. Listen, for how bad I want to say this is jackpot, I got to be realistic. It's fool's gold. I mean, they did this against the Patriots, who have no offense. So there was never any pressure for the Giants offense to score more than 3 points. I mean, it was insane. And I mean, listen, it's a nice story for a week, maybe 2 weeks, but I got to think it's fool's gold. But I love how he brought this back. There you go.
And we know it's fool's gold. They always try to shove the new hot backup quarterback down our throats. Like, this is just like the Bajan kid from the Bears that we had to hear about how much his dad arm wrestles for like 4 weeks. I'm like, he's playing like shit. I get it. His dad works out, but he's not good. Or Josh Dobbs, we got to hear about him having an aerospace engineering degree every 5 seconds. He out there turning the ball over 4 times a game. Like, this happens every year.
Against the Bears and losing to the Bears at home.
They always shove these out of nowhere backup quarterbacks down.
Duck Hodges.
Duck Hodges was another one. Oh God, he's so good. Like, nah, they're not it. Oh, this one. Jackpot or Fool's Gold. The post-Matt Canada Steelers offense.
I told you, I'm going to lean fool's gold right now. Listen, again, it was better. Don't get me wrong. But listen, Pickett, 24-33, 278 yards, but a lack of scoring. So is it better? Yes. Is it jackpot? No, because they were playing a Cincy offense that
like Jake Browning
allowed the Steelers offense more opportunities, meaning more drives than other offenses would have. So the Steelers had a lot of drives and plays and opportunities to increase their yardage. And in fact, increase their scoring, and they couldn't do it till the very end. Like, if Pickett keeps playing only fourth quarter football and the Steelers only keep playing fourth quarter football, they're not going to get very far. They are not going to get very far. It needs to get better. Needs
Yeah,
to get better. So for now, I'm going to say fool's gold, but I hope I'm wrong. And I wouldn't be completely surprised if I'm wrong, even though it doesn't happen.
He's like,
very
I hope
often.
I'm not wrong because I want us to keep winning games. No, you're right about the Bengals though. Like that defense is one of the worst in the NFL at giving up yardage. So like they should have had a field day. And I agree. I think it's fool's gold because the quarterback Pickett, he's just not it. So until they get a quarterback that's it, I don't care who's calling the plays. They're still going to be mid. Oh, next one. Jackpot or fool's gold. Russell Wilson is back.
So back to the Russell Wilson of Seattle in his heyday, meaning pre-2021.
He ain't 26, we get it.
Pre-2021. No, it's fool's gold. Is he playing better than he did last year? Of course. But listen, he can help them get to the playoffs. Yes. He's playing better than he did last year. Yes. I mean, pre-2021, his stats on average were about little over 4,000 yards passing, 35 to 40 touchdowns. This year, he's on pace for 3,000 and like 29, 28, 29 touchdowns. So again, is he playing better than last year or the last couple of years? Yeah. Is he playing pre-2021 Russell Wilson? No. Last 6 games, JT, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But in those 6 games, 3 of those games, he threw for below 150 yards. 5 of those 6 games, he threw for less than 200 yards. How is he back? No, it's fool's gold if you think he's back to the old Russell Wilson. He's playing better, and he can still help and lead the Broncos to the playoffs, but he's not that same old Russ.
Yeah, as much as I love Russ and I love the comeback for him, I think it's fool's gold just because I don't think he's that guy that was in Seattle that can elevate you to, possibly go to a Super Bowl. I just don't see it. And I think he's hiding behind the touchdowns and the yardage. Like you said, it tells that they're not really putting him in position to win the game for them. They're like, hey, look, don't mess it up and we'll run the ball and the defense will do the rest. So I don't think he's back. Oh, Kyren Williams, Rams running back as a top 10 running back.
Yes.
Jackpot or fool's gold?
Jackpot.
You only saying that because you got him in fantasy and you hope that this is jackpot. We always tell people that this is not a fantasy show, and you always make me look bad. There's no way if you don't have Kyren Williams on the fantasy football team that you think he's a top 10 running back.
I absolutely would have. I would. Did you see that performance?
Yes, I saw it. Yes.
Sunday against Arizona. All right.
Yes.
Listen, if he's healthy, no doubt top 10. Because you got to factor in this, JT. And thanks, Mike Regina, for agreeing. He says jackpot is jackpot. Listen, guys like Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, who were, top 10 the past couple of years, sorry to say, they're falling out. So someone's got to replace it. If you don't think Eckler is a top back anymore, then someone's got to replace it.
Somebody got to get the 20 points.
Hey, this is the guy. There's someone. Listen, they're all on the downside of their careers. Those 3 guys who have said, even Josh Jacobs. I hate admitting.
I mean, he really only had one really good year last year.
Eckler, well, a couple years ago too. But Eckler is on the downside, like you said. He's 28. I think he turns 29 in like March or May of next year of 2024. So someone's got to replace those guys. Williams is that guy.
I want to say jackpot, and I think I'm gonna go with it. And I mean, it's because he plays for the Rams, and Sean McVay has shown if you're that running back, he's gonna give you all the touches. And this is what they've been waiting for since Todd Gurley, a guy that we can give the ball to 25 times a game and let him go to work as a runner and a receiver,
and not have to pay him.
Exactly. So I think just because of the situation and he's had success, that this is jackpot. He's a top 10 running back for this year. Until he comes back next year, and then he's so little he falls off because he can't take the carries. Steelers should trade for Bryce Young. McVay
we're not doing that, Regina. Don't do that to my team. The last one other thing about Regina, McVay likes him. He's going to keep feeding him in volume, make him.
As I'm saying, McVay, once he likes you, you're getting all the carries.